I was born with a curse. I can see the red strings of fate, those invisible threads meant to guide souls to who they belong with. I've watched lovers collide across centuries. Strangers become soulmates in passing glances. Even enemies tangled by destiny's cruel amusement. But never once, not a single thread led to me. And him, he was perfect, untouchable. I knew he was never meant for me. But he looked at me like I was his fate, and that was the beginning of everything. He didn't care about the thread that bound him. Didn't flinch when I told him we weren't meant to be. Didn't hesitate when I pointed to the line that tied him to another. He still loves me like madness, possessive, boundless, defiant. And I'm starting to wonder if fate ever stood a chance against him. It was a cold night. The streets were quiet, nearly empty as I walked through them, hands in my pockets, breath curling like smoke in the air. But inside the bar, it was the exact opposite. Loud music pounded through the walls, lights flickered like stars having seizures, and people danced too close, laughed too loud, drank too much. I was just here to distract myself. To pretend I wasn't hurting. Again. Because today was just another day, another heartbreak I saw coming from miles away. And no matter how hard I try, I can't outrun fate. Can I? I'm Ilarian Mooncrest, and I can see red strings of fate. It started the day I turned 18, a bloodline gift, or curse, passed down from my mother's side. She had the same ability. Said it helped her find her soulmate. Said it would be a blessing. It's never been a blessing for me. While others find their destined love, all I've ever seen are strings connecting the ones I love to everyone but me. Every time I fall for someone, I see it, the crimson thread pulling them towards someone else. Someone they're fated to love. My first boyfriend, he was my best friend's soulmate. So I let him go. My second girlfriend, still tied to her ex. She went back to him. The third, her string led straight to my own brother. Yeah, that was fun. And the guy after that, said he'd love me forever, until his red string lit up for his best friend, who just realized he was gay. And tonight, another one, a guy the first barely started dating. Just a week in, said he still loves his ex. His fated one, he walked away. They always do. I should be used to it by now. But it still hurts like hell. Because I can see everyone's soulmates, and I can even cut their strings if I want to. But my own, there's nothing, no thread, no fate, just emptiness. I wasn't meant for anyone. Everyone's tied to someone except me. So I've made a decision. No more falling, no more hoping, no more hurting. I'll stop opening my heart. If fate won't give me someone to belong to, then fine. I'll belong to myself. And maybe just try to enjoy the ride while it lasts. I came to the bar tonight to unwind, maybe even find someone to hang out with for the night. Nothing serious, just a little fun to forget the ache in my chest. I could already feel eyes on me the moment I stepped inside. Of course I did, at 6 feet 2 inches, with dark crimson red hair, warm honey eyes, and a face that turns heads of any gender. I'm not exactly easy to ignore. I don't deny it, I know I'm beautiful, and I take pride in that. But what's the point of beauty when no one ever stays? What good is charm, looks, or even love, when fate always rips them away from me? Still, I wasn't here to mope. Just for a drink, maybe some company. I slid onto a stool by the bar, twirling the glass between my fingers, sipping slowly, scanning the room. And then, I saw him, sitting alone on a couch in the corner, dressed in a loose white t-shirt under a navy blazer, dark jeans, and black hair styled just a little too perfectly. There was a nervousness in the way he clutched his wine glass with both hands, eyes darting around like he wasn't used to places like this. Then, his gaze met mine. For a second, just one breathless second, our eyes locked, and then he immediately looked away, flustered. I smirked. Jackpot. I stood, drink in hand, and made my way toward him with an easy confidence. "Hello there," I said smoothly, watching him jump slightly. "You're alone." He flinched, his grip on the glass tightening as he nodded. "Mind if I sit?" He quickly shook his head and sat up straighter. I slid in beside him, arm draped along the back of the couch, my eyes never leaving his flushed face. "I am Ilarian," I said with a smile. "You look new here." "First time." He gave a small, respectful bow, still avoiding eye contact. "Yes, I am new. My friends said I should try going out more. So I came here tonight." His voice was soft, stuttering slightly with nervousness. I'm Kyron Valahart. Nice to meet you. And, Sorry about the stammering. I get like this when I'm nervous. I chuckled. No need to apologize. I don't mind shy guys. Maybe being new here at the bar is making you nervous. He gave a faint nod, eyes still glued to his drink. Yes, but that's not the only reason, he murmured. Oh, I tilted my head, intrigued. Then what is? And that's when he finally looked at me. Really looked. His eyes sparkled, faintly glowing, like starlight trapped in stormy seas. It's you, he whispered, cheeks flushing deep red. You're too beautiful. That's what's making me nervous. I blinked, then burst out laughing. God, he was adorable. You're one hell of a cutie, I grinned, reaching out to gently pinch his cheek. He froze. Maybe you can stay with me tonight, I added, teasing. Hang out, have a little fun. He tilted his head, eyes wide and curious. I'd love to, but what kind of fun are we talking about? I laughed again. Usually, I'd ask guys with faces like yours to come back with me. You know, sexy stuff. A one-night thing. His expression turned even more confused. I chuckled, sipping my drink again. You know what that is, right? He stared into my eyes, so seriously it made me shift awkwardly. It's all right if you're not into that. We can just hang out and talk, I said, softer this time. Then I stood. So, wanna come with me? Without hesitation, he nodded and stood up. And I froze, because standing next to me, he suddenly towered over me. The loose clothes had fooled me completely. This man was all height and muscle. A quiet storm wrapped in softness. Chiron, I said, blinking. He looked down, ears turning red. Yes. How tall are you? 6'4", he answered innocently. Why? I smiled, letting out a low whistle. Just curious. Now come on, puppy. Follow me. He nodded obediently and fell into step behind me, like a lost prince who'd found someone worth chasing. We then reached the terrace. I knew this place well. It was the only spot that stayed empty at this hour. I leaned against the railing, sipping my drink while gazing at the starry sky. Beside me, Chiron stood with both hands gripping the railing, quietly observing the surroundings for a moment before his eyes shifted to meet mine. Casually, I asked, "You single?" He nodded instantly. "How old are you?" 26, he replied. "Oh, I'm older than you. Hurry, call me brother," I teased, turning to look at him. He stared at me for a beat before a wide smile broke out on his face, so pure and bright it made my heart thump. "Okay, brother Ilarion," he said, grinning like a baby who just got their favorite candy. That smile, that gaze, it did things to me. Oh no, heart, don't you dare start feeling things again. Stay shut before it's too late. You're really good looking, Chiron, I said with a small smile. He gripped the railing tighter, glancing shyly at me before giving a tiny smile of his own. "Thank you, brother Ilarion," he said, eyes not leaving mine. "You too, you're the most beautiful person I've ever seen. I didn't even know someone could look like you, like a dream that's somehow real, brother Ilarion." His voice was so sincere, so honest. I don't think I'd ever heard someone speak like that to me. My face flushed instantly. "You can't just throw compliments like that, dummy," I muttered, looking away, avoiding his intense gaze. "But I've never complimented anyone before," he said softly. "You're the first person so beautiful I just want to keep praising, if you'll let me." The way he said it was so matter of fact, like he was stating a universal truth. "Like 2 + 2 is 4. I shook my head. "Oh my god, you're so damn weird. You don't say things like that to just anyone, okay?" I sighed, taking another gulp of my drink and ruffling my hair. And then, I started hiccuping. "Brother Ilarion, are you okay?" he asked, voice full of concern. Before I could even nod or say yes, he suddenly turned and ran off, leaving me standing there confused. He returned a moment later with a glass of water in his hands, offering it to me with an innocent, worried look. I couldn't help but chuckle before taking it and drinking. "Thanks," I said with a small smile. He nodded, taking the glass back, and still stared at me like I hung the stars in the sky. "Brother Ilarion, do you come here often? To hang out with others, and spend nights with them?" His voice was soft, but something about the way he asked made my chest tighten. I didn't realize the seriousness laced underneath his words at first. "Yeah, so, it's normal for me, and dummy, do you even know what spending nights means here, I teased, reaching out to tuck a strand of his hair behind his ear as the cold wind played with it. But suddenly, he caught my wrist, gentle, yet firm. Something in his gaze changed. It was as if a switch had flipped inside him. His voice was calm but piercing. I do know what it means, Brother Ilarion. I'm not that naive. I was just shy to talk about it. But I know what spending nights means. I know what one-night stands are. I've never done anything like that before in my life. He bit his lower lip, his eyes locking with mine again, deeper now. But right now, I really want to. My breath hitched as he continued. Brother Ilarion, do you think it could be me tonight? Will you do it with me? My eyes widened. Chiron, what are you saying? Do you even hear yourself right now? He nodded without hesitation. Yes, I do. If you can do it with others, then why not me? Let's do it. I want to hold you. Just this once, let me. I couldn't speak. I was frozen, completely shattered by the shock. He stared at me for a moment longer before gently tugging on my wrist and pulling me with him. We ended up in one of the VIP bedrooms. He closed the door quietly behind us. Wait, are you sure about this? Are you drunk? I asked, still overwhelmed. Yes, and no, he answered. He stepped closer, hands hesitating before carefully cradling my face, forcing me to meet his eyes. I'm inexperienced, he whispered. But I really want to do this. Allow me, Brother Ilarion. His voice faded as he leaned in, pressing his lips softly against mine. I was too stunned to react at first. Then finally, I began to kiss him back, slowly. He was right, he was inexperienced. He didn't know how to move, just softly rubbing his lips over mine, unsure, hesitant. Brother Ilarion, I don't know what to do, he breathed. Just think of my lips like candies, I replied with a small smirk. And try to get a proper taste. He stared at me like he was trying to memorize every inch of me, then nodded and leaned in again. This time, his lips moved more confidently. He caught my bottom lip and gently sucked on it, then moved to my upper lip, his motions cautious, like he was figuring it out second by second. But once he found the rhythm, it quickly turned hungry. His hands tightened on my face, the kiss turning more desperate, more passionate. I opened my mouth slightly, allowing his tongue inside. He tasted everything, my lips, my breath, my hesitation. My hands gripped his blazer tightly, trying to match his pace. He didn't want to stop. His kisses grew fiercer, more consuming, until I gently broke the kiss, needing to breathe, needing to think. Before you get too excited to stop, I breathed, lips already tired and red from our kisses. Tell me, have you ever done it before? Do you know what to do? He paused, eyes flickering to my lips like he was trying to calm himself, restraining the urge to kiss me again. Then, innocently, he shook his head. Why don't you try to find out while I prepare myself? I said softly, brushing a strand of hair away from his face. He nodded like a curious child learning something new about the world. Sitting on the bed, he pulled out his phone. I couldn't help but smile at the sight before I quickly made my way to the bathroom, hiding my burning face behind my hands. I felt awkward, shy, and embarrassingly flustered. When I walked out, I flinched in surprise. He was right there, standing beside the bed, his blazer off, only a fitted white t-shirt clinging to his lean frame. His sharp collarbones and the subtle dip of his Adam's apple were on full display. God, he looked too good. Oh, you're done already? I asked. He didn't speak, just nodded and grabbed my wrist, gently pulling me toward the bed. The next thing I knew, he had me under him, hovering above with an expression that was no longer shy or uncertain. I think I know what to do now, he whispered. My breath caught. Where did the confused little puppy go? His tongue flicked out to wet his lips, his eyes dark with hunger, like he wanted to devour me whole. I couldn't even respond before his lips crashed into mine. Rough, urgent, electrifying. His hands slid up, slowly tugging my outer shirt off. Then they slipped under my inner layer, cold fingers meeting my warm skin. A shiver ran through me, my mind going hazy, my heart pounding so loud I could almost hear it echoing in the room. Brother Ilarion, he whispered gently between kisses, please tell me if I do something that hurts or makes you uncomfortable. I nodded wordlessly, too overwhelmed to speak. He smiled at that, sweetly, sincerely, before kissing my cheek, then my jaw, and finally my neck, leaving soft, wet kisses along my sensitive skin. I bit my lip hard, my toes curling from the gentle teasing, from the unfamiliar sweetness of his touch. I had done this before, with others, many times. But tonight, this was different. Every touch, though unpracticed, was filled with care. Every kiss, every movement was new for him, but he was trying so hard, trying to feel me, taste me, treasure me, while always making sure I was okay. And I was more than okay. The night was young, painful yet pleasurable. I sat leaning against the bed, feeling the ache in my body. "You're too much," I muttered. Chiron smiled cheekily. "I'm sorry, Brother Ilarion, I just couldn't help it." He carefully wet a towel in warm water and continued to gently wipe my bare, tired legs and arms. "It hurts," I said, half teasing, just wanting some playful fun. "It'll go away, shoo, shoo," he whispered, blowing lightly on my skin, and I burst into laughter. "You're too dumb," I said, making Chiron smile shyly. After wiping my legs and arms, he scooted closer and gently patted the towel on the bruised marks on my neck as well. "Should I apply some balm here?" he asked, staring at my neck like he felt bad for biting me too hard. "It's fine. You've already finished 2 rounds of balm on my legs and arms." "I'm okay, it's normal. It'll vanish soon." "Now stop," I said, pushing him away slightly. Chiron nodded, looking away, biting his lips as if deep in thought, then finally asked, "Brother Ilarion, are you really sure we can't ever meet again?" I'd made it clear to him during everything that this was a one-time thing. I could see how close he was to tears. I nodded. "But why? I really want to do it again. I would love to stay with you longer and spend more time. I want to know more about you," he said, using those puppy eyes that were impossible to resist. I only smiled and shook my head. "It's just a one-night thing. Don't think about it, you'll forget soon enough." I patted his hair softly. He fought back tears. "I don't think so. Brother Ilarion, I don't think I can forget you." He sniffled. My heart raced. "No, dear heart, I told you, don't." I acted normal and smiled gently, kissing his lips. "You will forget eventually, don't worry. We won't be meeting again." He raised his eyes to mine. "Why not? What if fate lets us meet again?" I smiled, glancing at his finger where the red string remained untied. I knew it would tie to someone soon, and that someone wouldn't be me. "Ha ha." I tried my best to act normal, but the way he stared at me, as if he couldn't see anything else, as if he refused to see anything else but me, made my chest tighten. "No. Please don't look at me like that. It's too hard." 2 months passed since that day. Just as I expected, I left Chiron with my heart. I couldn't go to bars or be with anyone else. His words, his smile, the way his eyes looked at me in so many different ways kept replaying in my mind. As if he was trying to solve me, wondering how beautiful I looked, or how much he wanted to hold me, or maybe just to stare. Everything, I remember it all perfectly, and now it hurts. This heart never listens. It runs to anyone, but now it won't return from Chiron. I need to stop it. I wanted to distract myself, so when my best friend Harry forced me to tag along on his office picnic trip, I agreed. He said they were allowed to bring family or friends, and that it would help me get out of my rut. "It's for a week. We'll be going to many places. It'll boost your mood," Harry said with a smile. Harry's been my best friend forever. The one I mentioned earlier, having my first love and first boyfriend as his fated partner. He's the only one who knows about this curse of mine. He felt sorry he had to be the partner of my first love, but I didn't mind and told him it didn't matter. He's always been by my side and understands me well. He and his boyfriend Marky are still together, very much in love, and I'm happy for them. Harry tries his best to make me feel good and better, so knowing my situation, he pushed me to join the trip. I agreed, not knowing what awaited me ahead. I wore a simple red shirt and dark ripped jeans, my hair tied up with a hairband, my bag slung loosely over one shoulder as I stood beside Harry in front of the tall office tower where he works. It's so tall and luxurious. The bus was already there, with everyone talking and getting inside. Harry said they were waiting for their boss, the CEO's one and only son, to arrive, then the vehicle would take off. I casually nodded, standing beside Harry, casually wearing one earphone and scrolling through my phone, avoiding gazes from the girls but eventually smiling and nodding at them, answering their questions. Harry had introduced me to everyone here. I was new, but already feeling familiar. Everyone was friendly. I was about to ask Harry how long it would take when he suddenly said, He's arrived. I sighed in relief, until I looked up. My eyes widened, and my phone slipped from my hand and clattered to the floor. There he was, Kyron Valahart. He looked just like me. And he was the CEO's one and only son. Oh my god, what was this? Was this some kind of joke? But unlike my shock and disbelief, Kyron only paused for a moment. Then his eyes gleamed, a sharp glint flashing through them. A slow, wolfish smile spread across his face, dangerous, hungry, and no longer innocent. Kyron, you're just in time, Harry said politely, as if introducing a new coworker. This is Ilarion, my childhood best friend. He'll be tagging along with us. I felt like Harry was unknowingly adding fuel to a fire I didn't want to burn. Kyron's eyes didn't leave me. That smile grew wider, crueler. Okay, nice to have new people over. I'm sure this trip will be fun, he said, looking at me with a gaze that made me feel like nothing more than an ant beneath his stare. He smirked and knelt down to pick up my phone, handing it back to me. Our fingers brushed. I wanted to run. I think I've changed my mind. I need to get out of here, I whispered to myself. But Harry scolded me softly and dragged me inside the bus. The bus was luxurious and comfortable, but I couldn't focus. My mind was too busy planning escape routes. I stumbled and almost tripped, but suddenly a pair of hands held my waist firmly yet gently. I turned to see Kyron's smile, calm and unsettling. Brother Ilarion, be careful. Why don't you sit with me? He asked. I wanted to shout no. But Harry nodded immediately and practically threw me toward the window seat. Kyron slid in beside me. My friend can be awkward and shy. Please take care of him. Don't mind his words, Harry said, smiling at Kyron. What kind of friend was this? He was throwing me into the volcano without knowing it. Of course, Harry didn't know about Kyron. I told him I met someone that night, but I didn't mention the name, thinking of Kyron's privacy. Who knew this would happen? As everyone settled down, the bus engine started and we began the journey. The atmosphere was quiet, almost too quiet. My eyes couldn't help but flick toward Kyron, whose gaze was fixed squarely on me. His smirk, oh no, it wasn't the usual charming kind. This was dangerous, not hot, but scary. The kind of smirk that says, fate brought you to me. You're not going anywhere until I make sure you're mine, completely. My nerves betrayed me and I suddenly hiccuped. Before I could even think, a water bottle appeared beside me. Kyron handed it over smoothly. I took it awkwardly and mumbled a thanks before gulping it down. Brother Ilarion, are you feeling car sick? Or, am I making you nervous? He whispered, his voice low and smooth, sending goosebumps racing down my spine. How did he become so confident, so bold in just 2 months? Every glance, every word screamed determination, as if he was staking his claim. Was waiting for me, longing for me, the reason he changed so much. Brother Ilarion, calm down. You need to stop being so nervous. Look outside, see, it's a beautiful sight. Enjoy it, Kyron said softly, his breath warm near my ear. I turned to the window and saw it, endless green fields beneath a clear blue sky. Slowly, a smile curved on my lips. For a moment, my worries eased, and I let myself enjoy the view. Brother Ilarion, Kyron called again, holding out a cold drink. I blinked, accepted it with a quiet thank you, and turned back to the window. He called me once more and handed me a bag of chips. I thanked him again and looked away. But he wasn't done. A third drink appeared in his hand just as I finished the last one. This went on, snacks and drinks flowing one after another until I finally sighed, will you stop? I'm fine, I don't need any more. Oh, I see, he chuckled awkwardly, then leaned back, still watching me with that intense gaze. The entire ride went like that. Kyron kept checking if I needed anything, his eyes never straying far from me. When we reached the camping spot, I was surprised by how beautiful it was, a vast green park, with a sparkling lake that stretched like a mirror to the sky. This place is beautiful, isn't it? Nick, a worker beside me, asked. I nodded. We're staying at the hotel for now. Later, we'll have a barbecue. Why don't we get a room together? He added, flashing me a smile. Before I could answer, a firm hand landed on my shoulder. You should go get a room with your girlfriend, Nick, Kyron said, his voice low but clear. Nick laughed awkwardly, trying to play it off as a joke and reached to pat my hair, but Kyron's hand shot out, blocking his. He pushed Nick's hand away like it was a threat, before it could touch a single strand. Nick backed off, mumbling as he left. I glared at Chiron. I'm not sharing a room with you. Why not? He asked, smirking. Who else here are you close enough to share with? I had no answer. Harry's with his boyfriend. You can't disturb them, so it makes sense if you share with me. You can't go to anyone else but me. His smile held something deeper, something almost like a challenge beneath those words. I sighed and nodded. After we got to the hotel rooms to freshen up, I took a shower and then lay down, feeling a dull ache in my head. Long rides always left me sensitive like this, the pounding sometimes unbearable. Chiron emerged from his room shortly after his own shower. He noticed me right away. Brother Ilarion, is your head aching? Can I massage it for you? He asked, his voice gentle but confident. Do you know how to do that? I asked, surprised. He nodded happily and came behind me, his hands warm and careful as they began to massage my scalp and neck, easing the tension. Wow, you're good at this, I said softly, giving him more access without even realizing it. The way his fingers moved, gentle yet sure, felt unexpectedly comforting. I didn't notice the way his eyes lingered on me, how his smile held something more, a secret satisfaction in his touch. You were right, he murmured, it did vanish. There was a hint of sadness in his voice. Confused, I looked at him. Then I realized he meant the marks on my neck, the scars, bite marks that were now gone. I awkwardly touched my neck, giving a small smile. Yes, it isn't supposed to stay forever, right? It can stay forever, if you allow it, he said suddenly, his voice dropping deeper, making me swallow hard as I met his intense gaze. Before I could even process what he said, his hands moved to grip my shoulders firmly. I don't know why you keep denying it all, but I'm not stopping. Not when you yourself came to me. Fate wants us together, so do I, and I won't stop until you want it too. My heart pounded loud in my chest, his eyes burning with fierce determination. Our moment was broken when others called out to us. He released me and joined them, and I followed quietly, my heart still racing. Later, at the barbecue, the mood had lightened and I stood aside watching Chiron in charge of the grill. He was all sweaty, sleeves rolled up, looking completely domestic, and surprisingly hot. As always too hot for me to handle, he kept glancing my way, making my insides twist. The way he carefully grilled the meat, handing it to me first every time, the way his eyes refused to leave mine, and how he asked if it tasted good, like only my opinion mattered. The others seemed confused, but Harry just smirked knowingly. Instead of helping me escape the obvious tension, he was actually encouraging it. Chiron's the best for you, Harry said with a wink. He's the only I've seen that's so serious about you, honestly. I'm shipping you guys hard. I groaned silently. Why did everyone seem to be in on this except me? When night fell, they all gathered around to play Truth or Dare. It was fun, full of ridiculous dares and embarrassing truths. At one point, someone pointed at me for truth. Ilarion, have you ever fallen in love? All eyes were on me, one pair more intense than the rest. Chiron's gaze burned into me like a challenge, waiting eagerly for my answer. I laughed it off casually. I did, but it didn't last long. Love is too troublesome. The game went on, but Chiron's stare didn't falter, piercing right through me. Again, it was my turn. I took truth once more, bracing myself. Chiron was quick to speak first. How many people have you dated? And why didn't any of it last? I gulped. That's 2 questions. I'm not answering either. I'll pick Dare. Fine, Chiron smirked. My dare is, answer both. I sighed, then shrugged it off casually. I can't even count the people I've dated. Maybe that's why none of it lasted. Others laughed, but Chiron just stared, unreadable. The night dragged on, and I wanted to slip away unnoticed. Just as I tried, Chiron grabbed me, pulling me behind a tree, away from the others. He wrapped his arms around me from behind, his forehead resting hot against my neck. Brother, Ilarion, can you stop avoiding me? You really think I won't notice you trying to run from me? His voice was low, burning with intensity. I don't care how many people you've dated. Why don't you date me instead? I'm sure we'll work out. I'll love you however you want. I really can't do this anymore. I said it that day, I won't forget you. I can't forget you. He squeezed me tighter. Can you at least give me a reason why you keep saying no? Why do you keep pushing me away when fate wants us together? I pulled away, frustration rising. No, it's not fate. Fate doesn't want us together. Chiron, don't say dumb things about fate. No one knows it better than me. Before I could move further, Chiron gripped my wrist and pushed me back against the tree. Why, how are you so sure? Is there something you're hiding? I can see that fate wants us together. So why do you keep pushing it away? His voice dropped lower, almost pleading. No matter how much you push or deny it, I'll always be here reminding you, you're mine. There's no escape, I still want you, just like that day. Actually, the urge to have you now is even stronger, almost unbearable. His eyes glistened with tears. Please stop pushing me away, Brother Ilarion. I really love you. I want to be with you. My heart clenched as I stared at him. It was pounding, begging me to accept him. The feelings inside were too strong to push away. I glanced at his fingers, the string still untied. Okay, fine, don't cry, dummy. Stop crying, I said softly, pulling him into a hug. He buried his face in my neck, tears soaking my skin. I gently patted his hair, feeling his arms tighten around me, not wanting to let go. Maybe I can try this again. At least until his string is tied. Maybe for now, I can let us be happy. Later, I know, like the others, he might leave me for his fated mate. But for now, I'll let myself drown in his love. We went back to our rooms. Chiron didn't say anything, but I could see the happiness dancing in his eyes and curling on his lips. He only made one request, to sleep together, since there were 2 separate beds. He promised he wouldn't do anything. I agreed. Now lying flat on the bed, I stared at the ceiling while he faced me. Sleep, I said, turning my back to him, pretending I was already dozing off. But soon, a shiver ran down my spine when his hand reached for my waist and pulled me into his arms, hugging me tightly. You said you wouldn't do anything, I said coolly. I'm sorry, I couldn't help it, I missed you, he whispered, his breath warm against my neck. I bit my lips before finally turning around to face him. You really know how to make me feel guilty, I whispered, annoyed. He looked at me and smiled. I'm sorry, hee. His hands stayed locked around my waist. I could only hum in response, softly glaring at him. He seemed to be holding something in until he couldn't anymore. He leaned in and kissed me, hard. I knew it was coming, and I kissed him back. The next morning, I realized he really can't control himself. His kisses never stopped. If you want to stay with me, you need to control yourself. Okay, I warned. Chiron panicked immediately and let go of me like he'd been burned. We joined the others, who planned to go for a walk to the park. Harry teased me, asking if I was still avoiding him. I smacked his shoulder, laughing and playing it cool. Only for Chiron to appear behind me. Brother Ilarion, you laugh with others too much, he whispered like a drenched puppy. I sighed. Later, Nick came up and asked for my number, but of course, Chiron stepped in, reminding Nick that he had a girlfriend. Still, Nick tagged along. Chiron didn't say anything, but he didn't leave my side either. He trailed behind until he finally passed Nick to walk beside me. His fingers brushed mine before he grabbed my hand tightly. He didn't say a word. He smiled and talked with the others like everything was normal, but his grip on my hand was possessive, tightening every time someone came near me. Okay, he's jealous. Too jealous. Too much. You're too much, I said quietly. I told you to calm down. Stop being so clingy, people will suspect something. Chiron's eyes dropped. They turned glassy. I'm sorry, Brother Ilarion. I'm just scared. I feel like you'll leave again. And this time, you might not come back. I'm sorry, I just like you too much. And me, oh my god, my heart collapsed. I didn't mean it like that. I just meant don't do it in front of others, that's all. Aish, don't cry, I said quickly, pulling him into a hug. I softly patted his cheek, kissing him to calm him down. He finally smiled, hugging me tightly. I only smiled back. What could I do with this big baby? Days passed, perfectly, and I was right when I said I'd drown in his love. It was too much, too overwhelming. Even after the trip ended, he always finished work early just to come see me. We'd hang out every day. He surprised me with dates, gifts, everything he could think of to stop me from thinking about leaving. And of course, he's a beast. There was a time he didn't even know what to do, and now he wants to do it every day. No matter how tired he is from work, he comes in, hugs me, kisses me, undresses me while whispering, I'm tired, so let's just do 2 rounds, okay? But it's never 2 rounds. Always long, big, yet gentle. Giving me the love and attention I never got from my past lovers. And it's hurting me too much. I still don't know how to tell him the truth. What if he leaves me? No. He is leaving me. Smiling at another girl, holding her hand. Not looking at me. His red string, tied to her. Kyron, no, wait, you said you wouldn't ever leave me. Come back, please, come back to me. Kyron, I screamed, shocked, only to realize it was a dream. Brother Ilarion, what happened? Did you have a bad dream? Kyron beside me instantly woke up, pulling me into his arms. I melted into his touch, my heart aching, my breath shaky. I held onto his arm tightly, hiccuping. He got up quickly, just in his pants, and brought me a glass of water. I drank it as he gently patted my back. Brother Ilarion, if you want, you can share with me. It'll lighten your burden, he said, softly taking the glass back. I stared at him. I couldn't speak. I just hugged him by his neck, tight. He didn't ask anything else. He just hugged me back. 2 days passed. I was still scared, afraid. Not sure how to break the truth to Kyron. The one who never forces me to speak. Who just tells me to wait until I feel ready. It was a new day. I sat on the balcony, watching the sky. Kyron had left for work. I sipped my coffee, staring at the vast blue stretching above me. I thought it would be a normal morning, until I heard the doorbell. Visitors. Strangers I'd never seen before. It turns out, it was her. The CEO, Mrs. Catherine Valahart, Kyron's mother. She looked powerful, serious, beautiful, dressed in an expensive suit. Behind her were 2 assistants and 2 bodyguards, their eyes sharp and cold. Of course, she found out. About us, about Kyron and me. Having her only son, her heir, be gay, wasn't something she could just accept, right? Still, she was polite. Too polite. She sat across from me and spoke gently, but her words cut deep. He's too young, too innocent to understand what real love is. He just finds you attractive, she said, smiling faintly. Honestly, I think so too. You're quite handsome, but 2 men being together, there's no future in that. So please, don't take offense. I'm simply asking you to stay away from him, for his own good. I've already arranged his marriage with my friend's daughter, he'll get over it. I'll talk to him. I just hope you'll keep your distance. A mother only wants the best for her son. I could only smile politely. I understood. I already knew we weren't meant to be. But that guy, Kyron, he's just too stubborn. After she left, I laid down on the bed, staring up at the ceiling of the apartment he brought for us. He was so happy when we moved in. Said it was our space. I sighed, letting my thoughts swirl. Why did it have to be him? Why did he have to fall for me? Why did I go talk to him that night at the bar? What horrible luck. I picked up my phone, staring at our chat box. Every single message started with Brother Ilarion, and every single one ended with I love you, Brother Ilarion. It's his style. He chats non-stop. My replies are always short, while he types like a machine, full of excitement and care. He always asks me out of nowhere, do you know how much I love you? Or, how was your day, Brother Ilarion? He tells me everything, who he talked to, where he went, every meeting, every person he met, how tired he is, how much he missed me, how much he wants to hold me. He even tells me every conversation he has with other men or women, almost like he wants to keep my heart at peace. I know I'm not the emotional type, and I know, it sometimes makes him sad. So I try to soften, and he always gets so happy when I reply back with, I love you too. I remember once, I got a little jealous. He was texting a female coworker too much. I asked him about it. At first, he was confused. Then, when he realized I was jealous, he got so happy. He even thanked that worker the next day. Then explained in detail, over and over, that she's just a new employee, she knows nothing, and he's simply guiding her. All while pestering me with kisses, holding me tight like he couldn't believe I cared that much. 3 months of dating, 3 perfect months, but nothing, especially love, ever stays perfect forever. I wanted to type the words, let's break up. But just as I was about to hit send, a message from him popped up. Brother Ilarion, I think I'm drunk, please come pick me up. I miss you. I sighed, There was a party at his workplace tonight. I already knew he'd be drinking. So I got up and headed out. When I reached the bar, I found him, red-cheeked, flushed, clearly tipsy, talking with a female coworker. He'd mentioned her before, the new designer. Said she was talented. Her name was Selena. She looked elegant in her fitted suit, graceful as she laughed at something Kyron said. I was about to call out to him. And then, it was like a bomb dropped into my chest. A thin, glowing red thread, barely visible but unmistakable, stretched between Kyron's finger and hers. Time stopped. My breath hitched. My chest ached. I coughed. Then again, and again, I started hiccuping violently, gasping like I'd forgotten how to breathe. No, no. Not again. Not this fate. Not this cruel joke again. Why does it hurt so much worse this time? Maybe because I fell too deep. Maybe because, I thought, just maybe, this time, it was real. And like always, even in a crowd, even while drunk, Kyron noticed me first. He turned immediately, eyes darting to the sound of my hiccups and coughing. Brother Ilarion, he rushed to me, his expression full of concern. You actually came for me. He beamed, but then he noticed my state. Without waiting, he grabbed a water bottle from a nearby server, twisted it open, and held it to my lips. I drank, slowly, forcing my breath to calm down. My eyes glanced toward Selena. She had already walked away. Kyron gently rubbed my back. Are you okay? He asked, his voice soft, innocent. He knew nothing about what I'd just seen. Nothing about the pain clawing through my ribs. I forced a smile. Nothing. Let's go home. He smiled. Yeah, let's get something to eat. But the food he ordered went untouched. He didn't waste a second, pressing his lips to mine, kissing me like he was starving, his hands roaming everywhere. I thought you said you were tired, I murmured as his lips moved down to my neck, leaving bites that'd surely bruise later. That tired and this tired are different, he whispered against my skin. I'm still energetic enough to eat you whole, all night. He smirked. My eyes widened. You've become really shameless. I slapped his chest lightly, blushing. He giggled. I know, I'm shameless. And crazy for you. His lips found mine again, hungrier, fiercer. Clothes fell to the floor. His hands claimed me. The room filled with heat, moans, and the quiet creaking of the bed. In me, I tried to drown in his touches. Tried to forget the red thread. Tried to believe this love could be enough, even if fate had already chosen someone else for him. But no matter how tight he held me, I couldn't escape the truth. He's already tied to someone else. The next morning, I couldn't stop staring at his finger, the same finger tied to someone else by that cursed red thread of fate, while he lay beside me, kissing my forehead, nuzzling into my hair like everything was fine. Brother Ilarion, what happened? Why do you look so absent-minded? What's bothering you? Tell me. He hugged me tight, looking up at me with those familiar puppy eyes. It's nothing. Don't worry about it. I'm just tired. I smiled, patting his thigh. But all day, his mother wouldn't stop texting me, pressuring me. That morning, Kyron didn't want to go to work. He begged to stay, but I insisted he leave. And as soon as he did, I packed my bag. I typed the message with trembling fingers. I'm sorry, but it's not working. Let's break up. I hit send and blocked his number before he could reply. It felt so bad, worse than I ever imagined. Painful in a way that hollowed me out. I returned to my own apartment. Alone, broken, crying on the floor. That night, everything felt too peaceful. So still it scared me. Then it started raining. Hard, loud, the kind of rain that sounds like the sky is grieving with you. And then, my phone rang. It wasn't Kyron, it was his mother. I was ready to tell her I'd left. That she didn't need to worry anymore. But before I could say a word, she burst into speech, urgent, panicked. Ilarion, forget it, please, forget everything I said. Go back to him. I've never seen my son like this. He's insane about you. He won't eat, won't talk, says he's quitting, he refuses the CEO seat, won't marry, he even threatened to kill himself. I was wrong. I see now that you're not just someone to him. You're everything. Please, don't ruin him, go back to him. I froze. Of course, I knew Kyron was the obsessive and crazy type. But hearing it from her, it chilled me. Where is he? I asked, already grabbing an umbrella. Where do you think? He probably went to you. I ended the call and ran. Drenched in the storm, I didn't care. And then I saw him. Kyron, sitting on the sidewalk in front of my building. Soaked like a broken, abandoned kitten. Chiron, what the fuck? How long have you been out here? Are you crazy? His eyes were red, his whole body pale and trembling. But when he looked up at me, he still smiled. Barely. Brother Ilarion, I'm sorry. Please forgive me for everything. You can hate me, punish me, hit me, anything, but don't leave me. Why did you leave? Who gave you the right to decide that? This isn't fair. You keep leaving me. He was crying, raw, broken, helpless. Get up, Chiron. Let's go inside and talk, I said, trying to hide the panic in my voice. But he shook his head. Chiron, I said get. I hiccuped. He immediately reached into his bag, pulled out a bottle of water, twisted it open, and handed it to me while taking the umbrella and holding it over my head, shielding me. Even now, even in this moment, he was still the same Chiron. I glared, drinking the water before snapping, do you think this is a joke? But he fired back just as fast, his voice sharp, do you think my love for you is a joke? I froze. I'm done. I can't take it anymore, Brother Ilarion. Why do you keep doing this to me? And then I knew. I had to tell him. Chiron, I took a breath. I can see the red strings of fate. He stared, confused. I can see who's meant for who. Your finger. I lifted his wrist. Only I could see the glowing red string. It's tied to someone else. Your soulmate. The one fate chose for you. That's why I left. It's not just your mother, it's fate. How am I supposed to stay, knowing you're meant for someone else? He said nothing, just stared at me. I smiled bitterly, letting go of his wrist. I know you might not believe me, but it's the truth. Everyone I've ever loved, they all left once their red string appeared. That's how it works. That's fate. And yours. I looked away. Yours is tied to Selena, the new designer. She's the one for you, Chiron. Not me. Silence. Then his voice, low and sharp. Cut it off. I blinked. What? I said cut it off. I don't follow shitty rules. I don't care. He stepped closer, gripping my shoulders, eyes blazing under the rain. I don't care who the red string ties me to, I only want you. Cut it. Burn it. Bury fate if you must. I'll make a new one with my bare hands, one where you and I are the only truth written in it. My heart stopped. This was the first time anyone had ever said this to me after learning the truth. No, you can't, this goes against everything, the fate, the rules. He shut me up with a hard, punishing kiss. I said I don't give a damn about fate, he whispered against my lips. If it says I'm meant for someone else, then fate can go to hell. It's my life. I choose who I want to spend it with, and it's you. Not Selena, not anyone else, you. Even if there's another life after this one, I still want it to be you. And I broke. Tears spilled out of me as I collapsed into his arms, sobbing like a child. He held me like I was his entire world. Shush, Brother Ilarion, don't cry now, okay? Tomorrow, come with me to work. We'll cut that thing off. But for tonight, his eyes turned darker as he leaned close again, lips brushing my ear. Let's go inside. I need to punish your brain cells for even thinking about leaving me. Let me make sure you never think like that again. He tugged me toward the apartment. And I followed, terrified, but also willing, because if this was madness, then I'd already fallen too far into it. He said tomorrow, but I was too sore to move. He didn't let me rest, not even a little. He made love to me the entire night and well into the next day, as if trying to engrave himself into my bones, into my very soul. So, only after I finally felt a little better did I tag along with him. We met with Selena. He talked to her normally while I stood behind, staring at that thin red string, his string. The one that was never meant for me. My heart ached as I slowly lifted my fingers, touching it one last time before finally, cutting it. The moment it vanished, a strange emptiness filled me. It was the first time I had ever cut a red string. No one ever asked me to before. No one ever chose me over fate, until now. Chiron didn't wait. As soon as the conversation ended, he walked straight to me, pulled me into his arms, and kissed me. Deeply, possessively, as if claiming what was his. Later, I made him apologize to his mother for all his reckless, wild behavior. Surprisingly, he did. He agreed to take the CEO seat, to follow through with what she had asked of him. And Mrs. Catherine, she finally understood just how deeply her stubborn son loved me. She became genuinely supportive, warm, even, and happy for us. And Kyron, he's the happiest I've ever seen him. He doesn't let me go anywhere alone anymore. He's gotten even more possessive and protective, constantly asking if my eyes see any new strings, if any red thread dares connect to him again. And me, I don't mind. I love every second of it. After all, there's something intoxicating about being chosen, even against fate.